Hey there, Philip. How are you doing today?
Good. How are you this evening?
Oh, I'm good. Good, good,
Counting
good. I
down to
really
Halloween, our favorite time of year.
exactly. And I keep watching that intro and I really need to get to see you so you can actually do my hair so it looks like in the photo.
Yeah, and I want to look as young as I do in that photo too.
I know
That's why I
exactly.
like those cartoon kind of avatar looking things. It's like, yeah, I really look like that, don't I?
Oh, cool. Yeah. And we already actually have some people watching us. Resneck, hello. Thank you for joining us from YouTube. They're coming in tonight.
Oh, great. Oh,
So,
and I forgot I
and,
can look at comments over here
yep.
that I
And
just figured out.
hello, Kay Daniels. How are you doing? Thank you for
Hello.
joining.
Hello.
And then Robin's also
Robin.
here. Oh,
No,
they're all popping
Robin.
in.
And Patricia, yes, we investigated her business about a month ago.
Ooh, that had to have been fun.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's the house that's 135 years old. If any of you are
Ooh.
interested, on our Facebook, our YouTube channel, Georgia Paranormal Investigations, we have some really good EVPs from Patricia's business. It's just amazing. Yeah, her place is really haunted. Nothing bad though. There was nothing, disturbing there, but it was
Mhm.
fascinating. You did that say Utah? YouTube?
Yes,
That's
Utah.
Utah, yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
Nice and cold out there, probably.
Yeah. I know it's in the
Windy.
70s here.
Yeah, it's supposed to be up near 80 one day this week, but the issue is I run the heating at night and then the AC during the day, and then I get stopped up in between because of the heat and the
Mhm.
cold. But it's
Right.
cold at night, and then my
Yeah.
dogs are old, so I have to keep them warm. Okay, actually, I'm old, have to keep them warm, but I say my dogs are old, so
Yeah, she says it is getting cold out there.
mm, no, this is 75 is as cold as I want
That's why I love living in the South.
it.
So, what do you have in store for us today?
We're going to talk about a subject that's pretty controversial with some people. Um, Rescue mediumship or spirit rescue. It's the thought of helping spirits who are lost find the light and cross over to the higher spiritual realm.
Mhm.
Before we get into it, some of my mediumship mentors absolutely do not believe that ghosts exist, that this kind of thing exists, but they've probably never delved into it like we as paranormal people have.
Mhm.
So this presentation is kind of based around um, rescue mediumship as it pertains to paranormal investigating and the work we do. And then I have some of my mentors say, once you take that last breath, you are in the spirit world, you are going on to bigger and better things, and that there's no ghosts and all that type of thing. But, we've had different experiences. We know things, so I don't believe that. I think there's a lot more to it than that. And I have
Mhm.
some mediumship teachers who believe, as we do, that there is another realm where the ghosts can be and the spirits who are lost and needing help. So that's why this is kind of controversial, but it's something I do and I've done for quite a while, and it's not something that everyone should really be doing unless they're educated on it. And so tonight's presentation is kind of a condensed version of helping spirits find the light. I want to recommend a book. If anybody is interested in this subject, one of the best books I have found, it's by Amy Major and it's called Light the Way. And it is a great book on this subject. But I recommend this book if you're really interested in this subject. And probably not any questions yet, is there?
No, they're just all saying hi. Bob's here.
Hey,
And
Bob.
then Linda's here. And Resneck says, try being in Wisconsin when we were talking about being cold.
No, nope, nope, no thanks. Georgia is cold enough for me. We got below zero last Christmas. That was horrendous. That was horrible. But now the fun part is trying to figure out how to share my screen. I haven't done this in a while. So everyone, hold on a second. Where is that? Share my screen for this.
It should be on the bottom. It says present.
Present. You're so smart. Share screen. All right. Let me see. I do not want my emails. Oh, okay. Where is it? Hold on. I'm getting it, people.
No problem.
Oh. Well, it's up, but
Yes.
trying to figure out how to share it.
Well, while he's figuring that out, I'll get some of the stuff for the end of the show out of the way.
Yeah, do that because it's not showing up on the share part. So let me find it. So keep talking.
Okay. Yep. And if you guys are watching us, wherever you're watching us from, make sure you follow us on Facebook at Ghost Education 101, or you can catch the replay and subscribe to our channel on YouTube at Ghost Education 101 as well. And as I mentioned earlier, if you guys have any questions or comments, feel free to make them. If it's a question or something you need answered, I will tag it and make sure we get to it before the end of the show. And then don't forget to join us November 8th. We'll be joined by special guest Kevin for a discussion about trauma after paranormal encounters. That one I am absolutely looking forward to and having fun. So make sure you guys are here for that. And mark your calendars for November 22nd. We're going to do a roundtable discussion about mediumship and residential cases.
Oh, I'm working on it. It's just
we probably shouldn't have gossiped before the show and tested it.
Oh, for heaven's sakes. I love technology. Not. Yeah, when I window.
Yeah, and while you're doing that, welcome Kenneth to the show. Karen, I see you hopped over to Facebook instead of YouTube. And then Barb is here and says, thanks for addressing this subject. There's not much information on this one.
Well, there'll be more if I can figure out how to get this screen up. So hold on. Okay, I have it up there now. Present.
And then Bob does have a question. I do have a question. Once a spirit crosses over, can they come back? Do owners of locations want people going around crossing over their star attractions? Is it ethical to hold spirits at a location? He would think so.
Okay, because I was doing two things at once.
Oh, sorry.
All right. We'll get into all that about them coming back and such, but
I'll tag it and I'll bring it up later.
It's not good to keep one there on purpose by being unkind, and that's just wrong. I mean, if you have an opportunity to help one leave, you should make them leave. You should not. They're not zoo animals for you to make money off of. That's just completely wrong. All right. Well, my screen is there, but it's not letting me. There we go. It finally showed up. Okay. I'm not doing. Okay.
You ready for me to add it?
Are we seeing it?
Yep.
Is it there?
Yep.
Okay, because I can't see you when I do this. So
okay.
If there's any questions, just stop me, okay?
Okay, will do.
All right, and I'm not doing it the slideshow way because it takes over two screens in my office. So I'm going to do it this way. All right, Spirit Rescue Mediumship, a specialized form of mediumship that focuses on assisting earth-dwelling spirits cross over to the light. Now, light is the term that we're most accustomed to when we talk about crossing spirits over, but the light is actually the spiritual realm, the highest realm. There are realms within realms in the spirit realm, but we're not going to get into that part. but we're considering the light is the spirit realm. Spirits who have not yet transitioned to the next higher realm of the spirit world, which is the spirit realm. Crossing spirits over is a complex, challenging, and powerful process. It can bring healing and peace to those involved, and that includes the medium and the team that's actually doing the crossing. It can be very emotional. You should be educated on and comfortable with this process because it can be draining on you physically and emotionally. Spirit rescue is important work done by qualified mediums with ethical standards with the best interest of the spirits involved, not our egos. We're not doing this to make ourselves feel better and to make a name for ourselves. Crossing spirits is for the spirit world. Okay, has everybody got that? We're not doing it to make ourselves look good. You must be prepared for the emotional impact it may have on you by doing this work. Because there's been some times that, when it happens, you just start crying because you can feel the energy. It's beautiful. It's a release. And you have to be prepared for that. A medium who is serving the world of spirit would never charge a fee. Okay? Got that? In the world of paranormal investigating, there is a growing interest in the idea of crossing over spirits stuck in the earth plane. The belief that some spirits, for whatever reason, haven't or are unable to move on to the next realm and remain in our world. Okay, so we all know the possible reasons why intelligent hauntings and ghosts remain. They've been done wrong. They're angry, they're upset. We're going to get more into that later, but these are basically the same reasons as, why are ghosts here? So everyone who does paranormal investigating should already know that it is essential for any work with spirits that you ground and protect yourself, especially when working with malevolent or unwanted spirits. Because we all know spirits have free will, and if a spirit does not want to go to the light, but yet they need to be cleared from a space, we'll get into that later, you need to make sure you're grounded and protected because they can get nasty. There are many forms of grounding and protection techniques, so you find the one that works for you. Some people do a prayer, St. Michael's prayer. Some people just call them their guides, so whatever technique you use for grounding that works for you, this is when you would use it for doing this kind of work. We good? All right. So let's talk about where.
Yeah, you're good. Sorry.
Where
I was muted. I was muted.
Are you watching TV? No. No. So let's
Candy
talk
Crush.
about
No, just
where these souls are. Where are these people who need to be rescued? So we're going to cut this down into the three basic planes of existence. First, we have the material plane, what we call the material plane, or as Madonna says, material girl. It is the earth plane. It's where you and I are right now I'm sitting in my office. This is the earth plane. The next plane is the astral plane, the place believed by some people to be where a person's spirit goes between dying and entering the higher spiritual world. So this is kind of in limbo. We're just all in limbo here. So we want to get them from this middle plane to the spiritual plane or going to the light. Okay. So we've all heard of astral traveling. So let's talk about how you can do that and still come back and be in your body. During astral projection and outer body experiences, some claim they can see what is called the silver cord, linking their astral form to their physical body. So if you're astral, traveling, and you go into this astral plane, you're going to have this silver cord that is connecting your soul to your earthly body. Okay? Does that make sense? So you can go get back into your body. So the cord mainly appears to be an assurance that they will not become lost. That's the key here, lost. The silver cord cannot be cut or broken unless it is time for the person to die. That is the one good definition of death. When that silver cord is broken, you have left your body on the earthly plane, and you may be in the astral plane, or you may go directly to the spiritual plane. You don't have to be in the astral plane. You can go straight to the light if all your ducks in a row and that's where you want to go. Okay? But the lost souls that we're talking about, the ones who, we're trying to help find the light and go from the astral plane to the spiritual plane, that's the ones where we're talking about that they're stuck there in that blue zone. Okay, the astral plane is the level beyond the physical. Within the astral plane, there's believed to be numerous densities and vibrations. Okay, what does that mean? The astral plane, there are good souls, there are higher vibrational souls, there are, what we consider malevolent or mean and nasty souls there. It can be anybody who doesn't go to the light can be in that plane, and that can be multi-vibrational beings. So after death in the material plane, people shed their physical bodies and exit the astral plane into their astral bodies. So you're not in your human body that you were in the material world, you're in your astral body. And it looks just like the one you had on Earth, but you're basically a ghost. That's where the ghosts are in the astral plane. From there, you can ascend to a higher plane of existence, like we said, the light or the spiritual plane, or you can be reincarnated into a different physical form. The astral plane is unique in that there's no space or time. There's no past, present, or future. It's just a vast wonderland of get me the hell out of here kind of thing. The souls of the newly dead from the material plane pass through here on their way to outer planes. And if you want to study all the different planes of existence in the afterlife, you can, but we're going to keep this kind of simple for right now. Are there any questions? We're doing good? Nobody's confused yet?
You're still good.
Okay.
They're quiet. They're probably just listening because we have quite a few viewers tonight.
Oh, okay, great. Now, here's a term that we often hear too in the mediumship world is etheric. So the etheric refers to the aura that surrounds a person. The aura is your electromagnetic energy field that surrounds all physical things. The etheric body holds the memories and the experiences throughout all of your lifetime. Your etheric body is identified with who you think you are based on your history and experiences. The soul exists in the etheric realm. Okay, so let's say your body that you have in the spirit world is the astral body. Your soul that's in the astral body is the etheric body. So there's kind of two parts to you at that point. Does that make sense? You have your astral body, which is what you look like when you walked in the material world. And then your etheric body is the part of, it's the energy part that holds the memories and your personality, basically. It's who you are, is your etherical body. Anybody lost yet? Okay, moving on. We're going pretty good here. Okay, there are many theories as to why spirits may be stuck or remain on the earth plane or in the material, the astral plane, basically, which is, it intersects with our earth plane. That's how we're able to see them. It's traumatic death, unresolved grief, anger, strong attachment to a loved one still here, afraid of the afterlife, I mean, you see this bright light and you're terrified to go because you think it's something scary. So you may choose to just stay in the astral world. Okay, you could be afraid of punishment. I mean, if you've done something really bad and you don't want to be punished, you may not want to go to the spiritual realm. Addictions are another reason. Confusion, your state of mind at the time that your body dies and your consciousness goes to the astral plane. That might be another reason why you don't go. You could be attached to a place or an object important to them. Like that's where the haunted objects come in. And of course, unfinished business.
We do have a quick question, Robin. I think from the previous slide, it just popped up. She wants to know why 2.
Okay, where are we at? Oh, wait a minute. To this one?
I believe so.
Okay, so I can't see the question.
She says why 2.
Why 2? Oh,
I think you mentioned something where you have to have 2 of something.
Oh, why is the etheric and the astral? Well, the etheric body is the energy that supports the astral body. It's kind of like our body and our soul that we have now. It's just different terms for them. I think that's what she's asking.
Okay. If not, Robin, can you clarify so we can figure that out?
It's just the proper terms for body and soul. It's your astral body is what you look like if you see a ghost. Then your etheric body is going to be the personality and the soul and what we're going to be dealing with when you're trying to get you to go to the light.
Mm-hmm. Yep, she says that's it.
Because remember, your infirmaries that you have in the material world can still be there in your astral body until you go to the spiritual side or to the light. So that's why when we see ghosts, at a haunted location that may have one leg like a soldier or something, that's why, because we're seeing their astral body. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay. I hope that answered her question.
She said it did. She said okay.
Okay. Very good. All right. Now, this is something that everyone, that does paranormal investigating should do, is have discernment. But when, this presentation relates to paranormal investigating. So when we go to a location or a site, we can feel that there's energy there. So this is where we have to discern the ability to perceive, understand, and judge things clearly, especially those that are not obvious or straightforward. Okay, there's a couple types of energy in a location, and everyone probably knows what residual is. It is, it isn't intelligent. It's not an etheric body or soul. It's an imprint. But we can get visions and see things that happened in our mind as a medium that are residual, but they're not intelligent hauntings. Does that make sense? We can see these things. We can pick up what happened there, who may have been there, but that's not who we're trying to help, because that's residual. And the way to rectify some of those residual energy imprints is by doing energy clearings, Reiki, shamanism, Native American shamans. Those kind of things can redirect energy to help dissipate a residual haunting. So what we're trying to discern is that residual, or is this intelligent and active? Is this a spirit that we can communicate with that's still in that location? Now, are these spirits that are there asking for help? All right. When I say asking, a lot of times those who have used the spirit box hear the cries for help. Help, help, help. That's kind of what I'm talking about. They are asking for help. They are confused and lost and need help and need to be found and want to go, somewhere else. They may not be sure where they want to go, but they don't want to be there. The other kind that we're looking for are, do they need help and they don't know it? A lot of ghosts and and entities are happy being in the astral plane, half on earth, half in the spirit world. They're in our world on the spirit level, on the earth plane level. But, they don't need to be there. A lot of times, we don't help them, but do they need help? Because they're never going to fully evolve spiritually when they're in the astral and the earth plane. They're never going to find their complete selves and happiness where we are now. Does that make sense? Sometimes they just need to go, especially children spirits. They may be playing and happy in a location, but children do not need to be in that perpetual state of the astral plane for eternity. In all fairness to that spirit, they need to go be in the spiritual realm and be happy and grow and reach the highest levels of vibration that they can be. They're never going to be fully evolved spiritually in this plane that we're in. So that's what I'm talking about. They need help, but they're not asking for help. And then we have the unwanted or malevolent spirits. Let's say you have a mean, nasty murderer that's haunting a location or a home, and they want it out. They may not want to go there, but they're not wanted there. And those are the ones that we have to work with of getting them to cross in a more commanding type of way. And we'll get into that a bit later. But so these are kind of the three that we're looking for that need help. Okay. Any more questions?
Nope, you're good.
Okay. I hope this is making sense. All right. Then we're going to get into the spirit transition process. Okay. So let's say you have a spirit that's asking for help or that needs to be moved on to the spiritual realm. First, you need to establish a rapport with that spirit. You need to gain their trust. How do we do that? They can feel our vibrations. Our communication can be in our thoughts and minds, and in our vibrations, in our frequencies. As human beings and as a spirit in a human body, we can communicate that way. So this is where you want to introduce yourself. You're here to help them. You need to tell them things from the heart to gain their trust, because they know when you're not sincere, because your body will give that away. Your vibration will give that away. So you need to get that spirit to gain your trust. Let them know what, you would like for them, that their life could be better if they move on, etc. This is basically spiritual counseling in a way, and it's letting them know that you're there for them and you're there to work with them and help them. So next, you want to ask the spirit, do they know why they're there? They may not understand the reason why they're still here. You have to communicate to them. Are you here because you just like it here? And if they do, you need to explain to them, that yes, you think you may be happy, but there's so much more for you in the spiritual realm, where there are family and friends and loved ones waiting for you that you don't even know exist. And they're waiting to greet you and be with you and heal you from any emotional trauma that you have. So you need to find out why they're there. And to do that, you need to listen compassionately to their story. It may seem frivolous to us sometimes why they remain, but it's not frivolous to that spirit, to that person. So listen compassionately and understand what they're going through. Offer support and encouragement to the spirit. These are kind of things you would just do for a best friend that's in trouble, that needs your support and help. It's basically the same thing. It's just we don't know these people. These aren't people we've known all our lives. These are people we've just met. Some may visit us prior to going to a location, but you're trying to be their support. So you want to offer your support and encouragement. And by that point, hopefully you have earned their trust. So, how are we getting all this information from a spirit? Okay, it's not like we're picking up, our phone and texting them. It's like, okay, you're probably thinking, oh, how am I supposed to hear their story? Well, this is why this needs to be done by, trained mediums or experienced mediums. This isn't just for everyone to do, because part of their story may be very crucial into getting them to cross over. So let's go on to our mediumship clairs. The 8 clairs that people may have some of them, they may have one of them, or they may have all of them. The mediums may have, like, I'll tell you the ones that I have when we go over these. And when you're developing medium, you can change, and you may get one that you didn't have, or you may lose one that you have and another one will appear. It's not always a straightforward journey when you are developing your mediumship abilities. Because some of these I don't want to have, and if I've started to develop them, I tell my spirit guides and every one of us, I said, please, I don't want to do this, because it's just not something that I want to do. So the first one everyone knows is clairvoyance. It's clear sense of vision, psychic sight. Now, the different types of clairvoyance. My clairvoyance, most of the time when I'm getting a message, is mentally. I see the spirit, like seeing a memory in my mind. That's how I can see them and describe them and get information. Some people see them just as like walking flesh human beings standing right in front of you. I don't want that, because that kind of freaks me out. I mean, I can see them in my mind, and that's fine with me, because I can get plenty of details that way. So the next one is clairaugustance. It's the clear sense of taste, being able to orally detect psychic information. Let's say a spirit's telling you their story. They may have been an alcoholic, and you start tasting beer or whiskey. That's an important part to understanding why they may be here. They may have done some horrible things as an alcoholic, or they're addicted and they know they can't drink when they get to the other side. So you may be tasting part of their story. Okay. Clairsalience is the sense of smell, being able to nasally detect psychic information. Let's say a spirit burnt up in a fire. You may be smelling smoke when you start communicating with this spirit. You may smell gunpowder, if they were murdered. So you have to pay attention to these things. And some known spirits may show their presence with a fragrance. That's happened to me in St. Augustine. The spirit is known that when she manifests, you smell lilacs. And when I say it happened, this was an old musty building that smelled like mold and mildew. And then all of a sudden, within a matter of less than a minute, the entire place filled with a sense of a lilac garden. It was so overwhelming. But it was a beautiful fragrance. And I said, oh, I think her name, they call her Elizabeth. I said, oh, Miss Elizabeth, I could smell your beautiful fragrance. You must be here with us. And it lingered for about a minute and then completely disappeared. So that's part of being a good medium. Clairaudience is a clear sense of hearing, being able to detect psychic information through the ears. Now, this is one I kind of started to develop, and I asked my guides, unless I can hear them like talking on the telephone, I don't want to do this. I was hearing them call for help from like another room, and I would freak out and go looking around the house like, what was that? And I look outside in the front yard to see if there's anybody parked in front of the street, or and that gets a little odd. Some people have this and absolutely are fine with it. That's just not something that I wanted. Now, a lot of times if I'm getting information, I will say the spirit just said XYZ, or I heard them say XYZ. When I say that, I'm not meaning it with my ears. I'm meaning it more in the next one, which is clear cognizance. It's a clear sense of knowing, psychic insight. To me, the information is just downloaded into your brain. You know it's not your thoughts. It's not something you would regularly think. Because most oftentimes when you're doing mediumship work, your focus is switched to the spirit world. So clear cognizance is you just know the information is just there. It just pops into your head out of the blue. And one of the hardest parts of mediumship when you're developing is trusting this information. And you have to be willing to accept the no's. Like, no, that's not validating. But once you start to trust yourself and trust the spirit world, your information that you're getting is going to be correct. The problem comes with interpreting the information. That's where you need experience and practice. The next one, clairsentience, is a clear sense of feeling, being able to detect psychic information through your body. That's detecting good energies, bad energies. Also, let's say someone was stabbed, a spirit that you're trying to help and learn their story was stabbed. You may be feeling the sensation of being stabbed, and I've seen that happen. So that's kind of what we're dealing with here, and that could be quite jarring, and you have to be prepared to know what's happening to you if this happens, because it could come on very quickly. You don't even have to be a pure medium for this to happen. You can be at a haunted location and have clear sentient experience. Now, clear empathy is a clear sense of emotional feelings, being able to detect physical information through your emotions. Let's say you're somewhere and for some reason you just want to start crying and you don't know why. It may be that the sadness that's imprinted in this environment is so overwhelming that your body picks it up and you want to start crying. Or you may want to start laughing if it was a funny, happy place. So clear empathy is on the emotional side. You're going to be picking up the emotions. That can also, if you're dealing with a spirit that you want to help that's been, stabbed, that you felt with clairsentience and clear empathy, you may be feeling the fear and the afraidness that they're feeling. And the other one is clear tangency, the sense of touch, being able to detect psychic information through your hands. And this is not the same as psychometry, where you hold an object and you get the information. It's just downloaded to you from we don't know where, because it's sometimes not from spirit when you're doing psychometry. So clear tangency is being able to detect information through your hands. You may be able to place your hands on a staircase railing and know someone fell and broke their neck on the stairs. So this is the way we're getting the information and hearing the stories from these spirits that we're trying to help. Okay. Any questions?
I do have a quick comment and question. Debbie says, I once had the spirit of a little boy that did not speak English. I explained to him that I didn't understand, so he was playing a movie in my mind. Have you ever had that happen?
I've had some that didn't speak English, but when I was giving the reading, I said, she's showing me this and this and this, and the sitter knew what it was. And in a word that was in a different language, I forget what the word was. And I said, and I'm hearing this word. I have no idea what it means. And the sitter knew exactly what it means. That means XYZ. So yeah, that can happen. If you're getting a communication from a spirit that doesn't speak English, it's not their first language, if they're in the astral plane, they're still, not speaking English, because if you've been to the spiritual plane, that's the higher elevation of the spirit, and you probably can speak every language at that point because you're communicating vibrations and wise. So use your mind and tell them to show you the information that you need to help them. and they can act it out for you and show you clairvoyantly, so you don't have to really know the language. I hope that makes sense.
And then Wendy wants to know, she says she has some of these abilities. Are there people you can go to help you develop these abilities more fully?
Absolutely. There are so many mediumship people. If you want to ask me later, I can tell you who I trust to get help with. It can be expensive, but if this is something that you are called to do, you may need to try out a few mediumship teachers and see who you resonate with. There are some that I absolutely love. Those are the best teachers that don't believe in any of this stuff that I do, but they know that I can do mediumship and they support me in that. So you may need to try some out before you find one that you just have a connection with. But you want an ethical mediumship teacher. There's some out there that just aren't good teachers. So I can help you with some that I like. Later you could send Heather a message and I can get you a list of some that I like.
Okay. Yep. And then Leslie popped on with a question. How do you deal with spirits tapping your energy, leaving you lightheaded, dizzy, and a nasty headache that lasts for a few days? I call this a ghost hangover.
Yeah, well, you get that sometimes at paranormal investigations, but you've got, like we said in the earlier slide, you've got to ground yourself. You have to learn how to push that off of you. I know a lot of times it's kind of thrilling to get those feelings and sensations and be able to say that this happened. But like you said, it can be very draining and exhausting and emotionally taxing. So you have to learn how to, I don't know if it's pushing your white light out and push it off of you, taking in white light, from, your crown chakra. There's different meditations and things you can do to brush that off of you. And you got to learn how to do that. And it's not, you're not going to do it overnight, but there are ways, because we don't need to be feeling that every time we go out, or you'll just be exhausted.
Yeah. And Debbie says if she has questions, she asks you.
About who to.
If she has questions about any of the abilities, she just goes to you, she says.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm not an expert in all of them, because some of them, they freak me out, like the clairaudience. Because I was standing doing dishes one afternoon, and I heard somebody from down the hall yell, "Help!" And I was like, "What the two double hockey sticks is that?" And I turned, I go looking around the house, and I have a downstairs that I rent out to somebody. I thought, oh gosh, does he have somebody downstairs that's yelling for help? And I'm looking, like, well, no, the car's not here. I mean, that can be freaky.
Right. Yep. Yeah. And Resnick says you can always learn from a private teacher, or you can reach out to a spiritualist church for help as well.
Which there are hardly any around in the South. Well, there are none in the South that I know of. There's one that I found, but she wants you to pay every time you. I mean, you shouldn't be paying when you go to a spiritualist church. They have love offerings to help, just like a regular church does, but you shouldn't be asked to get to pay to go into a spiritualist church. So there aren't any here in the South. Now the Journey Within, I think, and there are a few that have online services. If you look, I think it's the Journey Within has online services that you can, just tune in. I think it's on Zoom. So there are things, if there aren't any in your area, they're online. So you can find them online.
Yep. And then Bob has a question. Is it common to get sick to your stomach for a couple of days after being on an investigation?
It depends on what energy you're picking up and how you're reacting to it. Now, with me, if I'm going somewhere that there's super negative, nasty energy, my throat starts closing up, and I may start coughing to the point I want to vomit. I mean, seriously. Best thing to do is get out of there and reground. I mean, because sometimes you don't know it until it happens, it's like, oh crap, here it comes. If if it's happening really fast, if you can run outside, take your shoes off, and stand in the grass or on the ground for a few minutes, that'll ground that out too a lot. And in the winter, that's not as easy to do when it's cold, but that's a quick way. Scientifically, the earth itself can ground you from these energies. Let the earth absorb that negativity and recycle it. But it's not uncommon. What he's asking, it's not uncommon. I mean, it's happened to me, but like I said before with the grounding, and I think you have to learn the tools to do this and do it healthfully for yourself, for your body and your mind and emotional state.
Yeah.
I hope that helped him.
Yep. Yeah, and then Resnick, real quick, he shared who he's been on my other show a couple times.
Okay.
He takes courses through the Independent Spiritualist Association of the United States.
Is that SNUI?
No, the Independent Spiritualist Association.
Okay. Well, the SNUI, I think I'm saying that right. A lot of people in Lilydale, New York, that's a spiritualist community. And is it Talladega in Florida is a spiritualist community?
Casadega.
Casadega, thank you. Talladega is the racing. Casadega. Yeah. They're the two largest spiritualist communities that I know of in the United States. I don't know. There may be some on the West Coast, but those are the ones that I know of. And the Arthur Findlay College in England, their teachers are put through the ringer before they're certified as SNUI mediumship instructors. I mean, they're tested and retested and tested. And so usually any of those mediums are good. YouTube, just type in mediumship development, and there's lots of them there. Some of them are flakes and may have gone to a weekend mediumship group. Now all of a sudden, want to do this, but just do your research.
Yep. You're good.
Okay. So first we had the communication. Now we're going to move on to the next part of the process of moving to the light, and that's the healing process. So you've got your communication with the spirit. You've heard their story. You've gained their trust. Now you need to help them heal. Help the spirit identify and heal emotional or spiritual wounds. I mean, this is basically spirit counseling, and you may not be able to do this in 10 minutes. It's it can take a bit. And then the next is you have to have that spirit forgive themselves or forgive others. They may be holding on, like the case that I had where the husband just shot and killed himself right in front of the wife. She couldn't forgive herself. She didn't want to let him go. And he had so much remorse for doing that to her that he wouldn't go. And boy, that was a long night of and I'm not educated in counseling. So all this stuff has to come from your heart and your inspirers on the other side. There are people, if you ask for help, like, please help me give them the information they need to heal. It can come to you. But, forgiving themselves or others is a big part before they will go to the light. Letting go of attachments. It may be a person or a place or a thing. Addiction is an attachment. So they have to let go of these attachments. And, you're telling them this by letting them know what's over there, from what we have learned from, trance mediums, giving word from spirit, from the spiritual realm. It's love, it's light, it's happiness. There's no judgment there. There's no pain. There's no suffering. There's no emotional trauma. There's things you will have to work through if you have issues here, but it's never done in a judgmental or mean, punishing way. It's, love and light all the way. So you have to try to get that message across to that spirit. And the other part of healing is resolved unfinished business. They may never be able to resolve unfinished business. So you have to tell them, like, you may never get the clarification you want about this, whatever it is that's keeping you here, until you get to the light. You may find the answers in the light of what your unfinished business is. Your answers may be there. Or when you get there, you just may not even give a damn about your unfinished business. It's not important once you get there. These are earthly emotions and earthly things. These are not spiritual realm things. These are crap that we deal with here. Any questions? Okay,
Nope,
so
not yet.
All right, so we've got communication, healing, and now guidance. So we've got them to where they trust you, they've got your trust, they understand what they need to do. Now you need to explain the process of crossing over. Explain what's going to happen to them. I'll tell you how I do it. You need to help the spirit feel confident and prepared to cross over. It's like they are ready to go. They've got their ticket. They're ready to board that plane and take off, to the time of their life, so to speak. And you can call on your spiritual guides, angels, loved ones in the spirit world. Now, we have people we can call on, and usually it's a team or the same person. For me, I believe it's an angel, and his name is Paul. And people that have worked with me in investigations have heard this. And how do I know this? Is because a lot of times doing this process, I'll use a spirit box. Because the spirits that are already in the spiritual realm who are there that's going to try to help you can give you confirmations a lot of times. I know it sounds crazy, but I've got some videos you can listen to. When I have a spirit that's ready to go and go to the light, I will say, I need my technician, my angel Paul, to please come escort this soul to the light. They're ready to go. And that's what I do. Now, this may be, you may call them their loved ones, but this is my person. He always shows up when I need him to. And I'll explain to the spirit, look, I have someone that's coming to lead you across. So you don't have to you won't be alone. No one's ever alone when they cross over. So you go with him. You look all around you. You look above, below you, to the side, and you look until you see him and you see that light, and you take his hand and walk with him into that light. That's how I do it. Okay, imagine that you're out hiking on a trail. I use this analogy. And you're having a great time skipping along, and somehow you trip and fall, and you get off the trail, roll down a bank, and you don't know where you are. And you start wandering around lost. Oh my God, I don't know where I am. I'm never going to get out of here. So let's say I'm, walking down the trail and I hear someone yelling for help. Well, I don't know where you are, and I'm scared of snakes and bears, so I'm not going off the trail. So what am I going to do is run back and call for, assistance, a policeman or a park ranger, someone that's equipped to go off the trail and find you and lead you to safety. That's kind of what the process is here. I'm calling on an angel or a guide or whatever it is you believe in on the other side to come escort that person across. Okay? So I'm asking for confirmation as this is happening. I'll say, is Paul there with you? And I'll get confirmation on the spirit box. And then after they have crossed, I say, can someone please confirm that the spirit has crossed into the light? And you may hear, flew up, they're gone, he's gone. I mean, I've heard all those before. And as they're going, you close your eyes and you visualize that door opening and that bright light is waiting there for them, and their loved ones are there, and you visualize them walking into that light. Your thoughts are actions. So visualize and prayer, and your prayer may not be to, a religious prayer. It may be a prayer of positivity and support. So you're visualizing and praying at the same time that they're going. I mean, it's a beautiful process. Some people may think we are crazy for doing this, but if you've experienced it, you understand what I'm talking about. Any questions over the next one?
Yeah, one just popped up. Desiree wants to know, once they go into the light, can or will they ever come back or change their mind and come back again?
Okay, we'll kind of get to that part.
Okay.
Or I'll talk about that coming back. Yeah, I mean, they may not go. We may do all this and they're like, oh, nope, I've changed my mind. Well, it's something you may have to come back and do and work on again, or come to it, do a different approach. But usually this, once you call on your technician to come and help you guide them to the light, they can take over. I mean, their vibration and energy is so high and beautiful, it makes us look like gnats. I mean, basically. I've never seen one not want to go if they're asking for help. Okay, the ascension process. Now, for them to go, they have to have accepted their physical death and no longer in the physical world. They have to yep, I'm dead. I have no body. I have an astral body. I need to go to the light. They have to have accepted all that. Their emotional and spiritual wounds must be healed. You've done all that during the healing process. And at this point, once they're ready to go, they'll begin to disconnect with the earth plane by saying goodbye to loved ones, perhaps people that they're holding on to, the physical world in general. I mean, it's kind of like moving to another country. You're saying goodbye to everything you knew. And it's going to be better when you get to the new place. So once they're disconnecting, they connect with the higher spiritual realm and those waiting for them. That connection is there, and they're making that connection, in a vibrational frequency wise. And then, once they go to that light, the spirit then crosses over, and, they're a higher consciousness at that point. They're no longer in limbo. They are ready to expand into their next journey through their life. And once they're there, now this is things that we've heard from spirits who give messages, through trance mediumship or through messages that, that there may be healing to do over there. There may be jobs that you need to do to evolve your soul journey. There may be some other things you need to work through. There's the meet and greet. Oh gosh, I didn't know I had this cousin, blah, blah, blah. They're going to be having fun. And it's a whole new world. I mean, it's literally like getting off a boat in another country and getting to know everything. So they're kind of busy, but yes, you can come back and visit. This is where we get healing messages from when we're doing mediumship readings. This is where this is coming from. When they're coming from the spiritual world, the higher realm, to give messages, they're always going to be for healing purposes. Spirits in the astral plane may be nasty and mean. Remember, I said that there's different densities and vibrations in the astral world. In the spiritual world, they're all high vibrational beings, light energies at this point. So anything that they're saying from this world is of love and light and healing. Now, on that note, to identify themselves to the person that the message is for, you may get the personality that they had on Earth. They may have been a grumpy, moody person, and the medium will pick that up, but that's only so that the sitter can identify the person. But they're not going to be mean, nasty, and revengeful once they've gotten to that side. But in order for the sitter to identify them, they're going to show the personalities of the way they were when they were here. Okay. All right. I'm moving my slides around. Any questions on that part?
Robin had asked, is it important to know their name?
No, not at all. Half the time I don't know their name. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. Sometimes I may get the name before I even go to a location. Like that happened with Patricia Hill Salon. That's, I don't know if she's still here or not, but the name came to me like the day before. And when we asked, some of our equipment lit up in response to that name. But it's not important. I mean,
Yeah, she's still here. She said she feels fortunate to have witnessed you doing this. It was incredible.
Yeah, it's emotional. It's beautiful. All right, before we move on to the nasty ones, any other questions?
Nope, you're good.
Okay. So here's the fun one: crossing over malevolent or unwanted spirits. Now these are like the murderers, the nasty ones that are in a location that don't want to go, don't want to leave. These are the tough ones. It's challenging, but it is possible. And it's very important in dealing with these type of energies. I'm sorry, they are people. These type of spirits is to ground and protect yourself. Whatever, works for you. Mine, I always ask my guides to surround me, protect me, help me get the information, the true information in order for everyone to heal and move forward. Invoke your spirit guides and your angels. First of all, you're going to set boundaries. Tell them you are not afraid and that you are protected. It's like you can throw all your nasty crap at me, but it's not going to stick. Why? Because I'm here for a job and a reason, and I'm protected and loved by the spirit world. You can't deal with these and be afraid. You just can't, because it's not going to work. You cannot be intimidated. You can't be driven away. You have to stand your ground. You command them to leave and be assertive yet respectful. You're not yelling and screaming and cursing and doing all these other ugly things that people on the TV shows do. That's not the way to get this done. You use energy healing, sending them love and light, sometimes Reiki energy. Remember, if you're angry and upset, it only feeds their negative energy. You don't want to do that. You want to repel them into the light, and you're not going to do that by getting down to their nasty level. You need to rise above that and send them off with love and light. Now, this is challenging. This is this one's not as easy, but it can be done. So, in these situations, one of the techniques I use is ask your guides or your angels to go into the spirit realm and bring forward someone that this nasty spirit respects or possibly afraid of, to come and command them to cross into the light. So let's say this nasty spirit really respected, say, their grandfather or their boss or someone else. You have your angels or your guides bring them to this doorway and say, get your butt over here now. That's a technique that works really well. It's like you just, there's everyone's afraid of something. So even the nasty ones. So that's a technique I like to use. Ask them to bring someone to the door that they know. Even the other spirits, the dice spirits that need to go. Sometimes it's nice to please bring their mother, bring their children, bring their loved ones to the door, so to speak, metaphorically, and let them see them and tell them to come and join them. But as you're doing that, visualize and send them to the light. Just use your your brain power and just push them to that light. But bringing someone forward that the spirit is, respects or is afraid of, that's one of the best ways to get rid of a nasty one. So, tips for crossing over unwanted spirits. The first thing is you stay calm and centered. Stay grounded. If you get angry, it's only going to empower the spirits. They want to intimidate, they want to scare, they want to frighten, they want to make you angry. But if you stay calm, cool, and collected, that's going to get you further than yelling and screaming. Don't engage or try to reason with them or try to understand their motives. Focus on sending them to the light. You don't want to hear their excuses. It's like, no, you're going. You're getting, you're not staying here. You're not wanted here. This is not the place for you. You have to go. But at the same time, don't judge the spirit, even as nasty as they may have been. And the reason they want to stay, it could be Jack the Ripper. Just remember, everyone has dark side and secrets. We all do. Have compassion for them. Even suffering spirits have a soul that need to heal and find peace. That's very important. That's hard to do for your, having love and light for your enemies, but that's something in the mediumship world you have to do, is have compassion for these souls. So I hope this has been informative for everybody. I know it's a lot more involved in this, but this is a condensed version. And if you want to get that book and read it, it goes into a lot more detail of all the archangels that you can call upon to help move them across. Other tips, I don't know all the archangel names, Archangel Michael, but just remember, try to figure out who you're working with, because you will have a team. We'll have guides that are with us all of our life. Some of them come and go. We get new ones, different ones, depending on the stages of our life. So there are people there to help you. You just have to ask for it and then learn how to work with them and be consistent. But thank you, everybody, for tuning in tonight. I hope I hope this helped you and answered a few questions.
Yep. And we have a couple quick questions. Leslie wants to know, what if you can feel their energy, see them, and sometimes smell them, but can't hear them?
All right, say that again. See them?
She says, feel them, see them, smell them, but can't hear them.
You don't necessarily have to hear them. If you're seeing them in a clairvoyant way, you can get messages. You can get the information visually. It's like watching a movie. Communicate with them. You tell them, like, I need more information. Please show me the story you need me to see. Talk to them. Talk to them with your mind. It's communication. You need to build your power as a medium, and there's things called sitting in the power. That's a whole another ball game, but it's something you can do through meditation, is raising your vibration. But yeah, if you're seeing them, that's clairvoyance, and you can watch them give you the information. Like I've seen, like, hand flowers and jewelry, and it's like not a word spoken audibly, but I got the story in the visuals. So, it's still possible.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And then Wendy commented, when my grandfather came back as a ghost when I was 5 and stayed with us until my mom passed away, her and I both saw him daily. When she passed away, I was 26 and I never saw him again. She always wondered if he came back to watch over them.
Yes, they can come back for a loved one and visit. Then from the spirit realm, absolutely, they can come back. And a lot of times when someone's going to pass, they will start coming and hanging around. Like my grandmother came for a long time before my mother went, because I could feel her. I couldn't see her. I just knew she was there because she passed when I was really young. So they can come and be hanging around while they're waiting to take them across.
Mhm. Okay.
And then once they're gone, that their loved one is gone, you will never see them again. They were here for that purpose, that job.
Mhm. Yeah, Patricia says, fascinating. Thank you so much.
Yeah, we've got more to do at her place. There was a lot there, and she has such a high vibration as a person and a kind, loving soul. It's almost like she's a lighthouse. People are like that. It's like, they're attracted to that.
Yeah. And then Bob says, thank you, Philip and Heather. I so appreciate you both. So thank you, Bob, for watching and sharing this. He always shares it on his page.
Appreciate you, Bob, for being such a good watcher.
I was going to say, he's been with us since the beginning.
Yes.
And then Patricia agrees there is more probably to do with that. And then Wendy says, thank you. And we are all caught up.
There's a video when my team did that fundraising ghost hunt at the historic site. We had the spirit box going. I don't know. I think she's probably in bed because she's got kids. But Tiffany, that's on our team, and Sandra, she was there too. There's a video where someone was yelling for help through the spirit box, and so I did a quick, do you want to leave? And I called on Paul, and at the end, after it was over, you hear bells ringing through the speaker. And I'm like, I have never heard bells ringing before. And it was a constant bell ring. And that's a confirmation from the spirit realm that, yeah, they went. And the video, I think it's on our YouTube page. I'm pretty sure. I know it's somewhere, or maybe on our Facebook page. But yeah, it's out there. You can hear it. The bells are like crazy.
And then Desiree wants to know, if someone is on hospice, do you think it's possible to help them go to the light?
Yeah, I mean, are they coherent? It just depends on their state, their religion, their beliefs. There's a lot of things that you may not know about that person that can be kind of touchy. I mean, you don't ever want to say, well, if they're Christian, like this full-on absolute Christians, you can say heaven. But to spirits you don't know, you don't want to say heaven because they may be, agnostic or, you want the light is the light. It's whatever you want it to be. If you want it to be heaven, it's heaven. But yeah, it is possible if you talk to them or start noticing if they start looking off and seeing people. Ask them, is there any people around you? Do you see anyone, kind of, don't freak them out, but because my mom, she raised up and looked and she couldn't verbalize, but I said, my sister said, who do you see, Mom? She saw somebody. I was like, she sees Grandma. I mean, that's, because my sister said, do you see her? I said, I don't see her, but I know she's here.
I know when I was,
she's there.
Go ahead. When I was in the hospital. Oh, sorry, go.
No, go ahead. I'm just kind of reliving that. It was amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, I know when I was in the hospital last summer, the woman in the room next, or my room, but on the other side of the curtain, she was actually in the hospital for a broken hip, but being sent home to be on hospice.
Yeah.
And she had 5 I could see the relatives, and between the women talking to them and them talking to her, I got no sleep.
Yeah. It's
I was like, oh my God. I'm like, just go away. Let me sleep one night.
Yeah, when my mother was going, I was there holding her. I was on one side, my sister was on the other. I had been there for days, but we knew she was it was time. I'm facing the foot of the bed. I'm facing that way, and I'm holding Mom's hand like this, and I'm just kind of looking forward, and I see at the foot of her bed. It looked like a pebble hitting water. A circle just rippled. And I went, and I said, did you see that, to my sister? She's like, see what? And because she's facing the other way, because she's on the other side of the bed. I was like, you know, and I was just like, okay, I know I saw that because I'm wide awake. I have had 3 mocha frappuccinos. I mean, I'm wide awake.
The caffeine was getting to you.
And it rippled. It just like, and I was like, and then, I had a medium friend said, oh, yeah, that was the door opening, to the other side. And it's like, I saw it. If I'd have known, I'd have stuck my hand in it just to see what I could. Yeah, it's interesting.
Yep. And Robin asked, I know she commented below to autocorrect on this one, but a psychic said that to her that her deceased mother was not in the spiritual realm, because she corrected that below, but in a place of healing. She may never cross over. What does that mean?
I've never heard such thing, honestly. I would question that. Yeah, you're going to do healing in the spiritual realm. I mean, when you cross over, you're going to continue to heal and grow. So I don't know what that means. I mean, never cross over. Yeah, no, you don't. I mean, ghosts, in haunted places may never cross over because no one tries to help them.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And then Sandra says that you do need to go back to Patricia. She has people that still have stories to tell.
Yeah. We're going back because we got so many EVPs direct answering to our questions there. It was quite fascinating. There was a couple residual EVPs. I forget one. Oh my gosh. It was the name of a TV show in the 50s, 60s. Ed Sullivan. Yes, that's the EVP said. Ed Sullivan. I was like, Ed Sullivan. So somebody at that house at some point had watched Ed Sullivan every night.
Yep. And then Resnick said, this was in comment that came up right after the hospice question, that he helped his sister cross over.
Okay. Yeah. Well, this presentation was kind of more, geared towards paranormal investigating when we come across that situation.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's I could never do hospice work. I mean, it would be too emotionally draining for me, even as beautiful as it is, but I couldn't do that on a daily basis. Just couldn't.
Yep. Yeah. Okay. We're all caught up.
I want more questions. I like questions. Yeah, in this book, like where I had it broken down in, they're asking for help, they need help, or they don't want help. She's got it kind of like direct rescue, indirect rescue. I worded it a little differently so it'll be a little more simple to understand. But there's some really good information in this, and and about all the archangels and what they do and calling upon them. But if you can figure out who your people are on the other side to help you, then you can call on them every time.
Mm-hmm.
And it happened years ago when I was on investigational using the spirit box, and there are people that had been murdered on that property and believed to be buried somewhere in the woods. And they were girls, and we were like trying to get them to, be at peace, and kept hearing the name Paul, call on Paul. I'm like, the heck is that? And finally put all the pieces together, and it's been obvious ever since.
People were asking for the book name again.
And she's got a Facebook group too, where they sit and help cross people over or something. But is it Anton? I don't have my glasses on. Thank you.
Yep.
Yeah, he's a good watcher. Thank you. But yeah, on our YouTube page, we have a lot of EVPs from Patricia's Salon, so you can go in there and watch that one too. And I have a YouTube page that's kind of old. It's Philip Wyatt, Lifting the Veil, that I've got a bunch of old ITC videos on, and some of them you can I'm doing some of the crossing over, and you can hear Paul, and they flew up and they left and they're gone, and a lot of times they'll say thank you afterwards. You'll hear thank you, we love you. I mean, that's when the emotional part comes in. When I said you got to be prepared, because I mean, it's like it's so beautiful. All right,
Yeah, I don't see anything else. I think we're good.
Oh, excellent. Yep. It wasn't a super long presentation, but if it's over 45 minutes to an hour, people get bored. So
Yep.
And that's,
and that's about when they started dropping off.
Yeah. And that's a lot of intense information. The planes and the realms and the spiritual realm. There's other levels and realms and all that, but let's just get them there, then somebody else can take over when we get them there.
Oh, let their family help.
Yeah. That's why there's a lot of mediums, and I'm kind of this thought too of when someone passes away, their loved ones want to get in touch with them right away. I mean, it's like they come in a week later. I want to talk to my Aunt Betty, and a lot of mediums say we'll not even do a session for 6 months to a year later for different reasons, like the emotions are too raw after someone has just passed for the person left here. The person that they want to reach may be busy doing something. They're in a new place. They may be learning something new. They may be catching up with loved ones. So it's sometimes it's good to wait and give it some time. And I try to tell. I had somebody want me to contact their grandmother right after she just passed, and said, I wouldn't do it for at least 6 months. I said, so once you've healed some, I said, right now you're probably wanting too much. And if you don't get that, you're not going to be happy or healed. It's not going to heal you, whatever you need healing. And I've never asked for a person directly. Like, you come to me, it's like, I want to talk to Uncle Bob. Bob, come in. Can you come in? No, you don't do it that way. You say, she would like to communicate with loved ones, and it may be somebody else that needs to get a message or wants to say hello to you more than Bob did. Bob may be busy. So if you get a medium and you want to talk to Uncle Bob, and they said, I'll get you your Uncle Bob, run, because they can't promise you that. They can't promise you that. If they do, I wouldn't trust them. I just wouldn't trust them.
Yeah, there's too many out there that you can't trust lately.
Oh my gosh, that is the darn truth. That is the truth. But for those who want to develop their abilities, there's so many ways you can, but it is work, and it's always, to maintain it. It's like an athlete keeping in shape. You got to keep, your psyche in shape, your meditations. You've got to be able to tune out the noise of the world. Like in 2020, it was so stressful. I couldn't have connected to a spirit if I wanted to. I mean, my mind, there's no way I could shift it to the spirit world. I was worried about my business. My mother had passed. Everybody around, people I knew were dying of COVID, and I was hemorrhaging money from being out of work. There was no way.
Yep. Yeah. That was a rough time, but that's when we started this, so we're good.
Exactly. So something good came out of that. Yeah. So it was like late in 2020, maybe early 21. I had one of my mediumship teacher that I really like that doesn't believe in this stuff, but she's a great teacher, and she's really good, and she's very expensive. So I'd only do occasional classes with her. And I told her, I said, I just don't, is it gone? I said, I couldn't communicate now if I wanted to, from the stress. And, and she said, I'll tell you right now, you still got it. It's still there. The spirit world understands that life gets in the way sometimes.
Mhm.
They know. It doesn't mean that your abilities are going to go away because of your life problems, because life is life. And
Right.
that made me feel better. I'm like, oh God, because I thought it's gone. I mean, it's gone. And then, came right back. But I had to, refocus myself and get some inner calmness.
Mhm. Okay. Yep.
But yeah,
Still
you
no
should.
more comments. So
But if you're not feeling well, if you're sick, you're tired, you're distressed, or if you're not in a good place, you should not be doing spirit communication,
mhm.
because you're not going to be clear. You're not going to get the information clearly, and you're not going to do anybody any good, especially the spirit itself.
All right.
Well, let's talk about what's coming up then.
Yes, we have in 2 weeks. Kevin Quills will be joining us to talk about trauma after paranormal encounters.
I can't. This is going to be great.
Yep.
He's a therapist, psychologist, and people who aren't expecting to have a paranormal experience has one, and they freak out and have trauma, where we want them to happen. They're
Mhm.
unsuspecting people that may encounter something that completely it blows everything that they've ever learned or known out of the water. Where do you put that? How do you handle it? So that's going to be very interesting.
Yep. 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 And then we have
Hey, Courtney. Mm-hmm.
in a month we have a roundtable discussion on mediumship and residential cases.
That'll be fun.
So,
And
and
then,
then we are off in December.
yes, you won't see us in December. I know. It'll be all right. See us in January. Yeah, it's too much
Yep.
going on, and family and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Hopefully,
And
Emily.
work and all the fun stuff at the end of the year.
Yes, like having to renew all my licenses for everything, which is so stupid. It comes at the end of the year during the busiest time of the year. The most expensive time of the year. You got to renew my business license. And anything else you want to talk about?
Not that I can think of.
What's some other things going on in 24? We've got.
Let me pull it up. I had it up, but then I closed it out. Give me 1 minute.
Sorry.
I know we have. We're going back to our old. Oh, you're fine. We have our old. I'm pulling up the wrong thing. I don't need to open chat. We're going back to our old rotation where we do a special guest panel discussion, then presentation.
Mm-hmm.
And it's coming.
Do we have Brandon Masulo lined up anytime?
No, I've reached out to him, but he hasn't had any new presentations. So I think I'm just going to have him be on as a guest.
Okay. For any of you who don't know who he is,
I know we have the.
Oops, you're breaking up. But Brandon Masulo, all you who are into spirits and ghosts and investigating, get his book, The Ghost Studies. It is such a good book. It's a wonderful book on kind of the theories behind the energies and how ghosts work. It was fascinating. I got the book, then I thought, I want the CDs. I just play them in my car because some of the information's like, holy cow, kind of mind blowing. So I got to listen to it again because I'm kind of slow. Yeah, it's a great book. The name of his book is
we do have Alan Slonaker.
I'm sorry, Wendy was asking
the name of
his book. Yeah.
Okay. But we have Alan Slonaker. He's with the same organization that Brad Bradley's with.
Oh,
but he is also, if I remember correctly, yep. And then he's our first guest of the year. Then Karen Dahlman will be joining us on 117. She said she doesn't really have a presentation, but she wants to talk about Ouija boards.
That, yeah, she asked her to do the presentation that she did for The one that I saw, I'll look it up and see what it was,
Mhm.
because it was on the
Yeah.
history of Ouija. It was on Ouija boards, and how it was really, really good. I mean, it was
Yeah.
really good, but it was a
Yeah. She said
presentation.
she says she saves her presentations for in-person events, but she'll be more than happy to come on and talk about basically what's in the
Yeah,
presentation.
yeah, she did this one
And then we
online.
have,
I forgot who it was for.
and then we
So I'm thinking
have
about
Women of the Paranormal on January 31st. The Haunted Librarian will be doing a presentation on international paranormal tourism.
oh,
And we have a cryptozoology panel coming up.
I'm out of that one. That's over my head.
And then another panel discussion that I'm working on is crime scenes in the paranormal.
Ooh.
And
Who's the women in paranormal? Do we have a
we
panel lined
have,
up?
I do with that one. We have Katie Foreman, Sin Schrader Hill, Julie Holliday from the UK, and Alec Matsuo.
Very good. So we're going to bring you some good stuff.
Yep.
And we're only going to start charging $49.99 a month. Just kidding. It's all free. It's always been free.
Yep.
We do accept
Yep.
gifts. You want my
Oh,
address?
yep. Working on a whole bunch
gifts.
of different. I still have like 30 of those applications for being a guest that I've going through.
Woo! We're so popular.
I'm kind of placing people. I know I'm placing people on panels and picking people to be guests on different things.
You're so good at that. I appreciate you doing it.
Oh, no problem.
Yeah, Courtney, we need a tip jar. Okay, what's that? Somebody explain to me when you send stars. I see that all the time. Send stars. I'm like, what does that mean?
Yeah, what it is people can buy stars on Facebook, and then when they send stars, Facebook gives you a percentage, but it's like 1 cent per star.
Oh, that's not no. It's like $5 a star or something. We could talk, but
yeah.
No,
I had a couple cent on my other page, and I got like 12 cents.
And you had to pay taxes of 6 cents on that.
Right. It's like I appreciate it, but yeah, that just kind of sat there.
It's linked to the PayPal. That's a good idea. I forgot what I was going to say. Never mind. But if anybody
still keep getting asked when we're going on tour.
I mean, what does that mean exactly? Like,
I guess people want to see us in person. I don't know. I know.
Well, for $15, I'll send an autographed picture. That's so silly. Oh my gosh, on tour. I'd love to go on tour, but I need backup dancers and auto tune if I'm going on tour.
Yeah. we need the full crew
and some knives.
I was gonna say, I know some belly dancers we can bring with us.
Hey, that'll work. Someone would like to sponsor us for a paranormal Ghost Dad 101 tour. Any wealthy people out there?
We Philip Kahn.
Philip Kahn. Oh my God, that's funny.
What we could do is do like almost like an Antiques Roadshow where they come and bring us their haunted items and we analyze them.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Yeah, Patricia, yeah, she's right. Our equipment is a small fortune. That's for darn sure. Yeah, that show on Hulu that my friends were on, Repossessed, about the haunted objects. I haven't heard if they got a second season or not. I haven't heard. That's pretty intense, that show.
Yeah.
Still waiting for my star on the Walk of Fame. Yeah, I don't hear any TV shows knocking at my door. Just the dog licking itself over here.
Mine finally got me tired of me kicking her, so I think she ran upstairs.
Yeah. My one with the kidney disease, he's had a good day. He's felt good today. He's eaten like 5 times a day, which is rare. So everybody send him good energy and keep up and having a good day.
Yep. Sending those
Where do
their
you,
way. Wendy actually wants to know, where do you buy equipment that's legit and not junk?
well, I'm a bargain shopper, so I'm always looking for a sale. But Wendy, it really depends on what it is you want. I mean,
Mm.
if you want an EDI, go directly to Syntex. If you want a mail meter, go directly to, oh shoot, whatever his company is. I can talk to you later. Actually, we're going to interview Wendy as a possible team member because we have one of our members that's going to be a mother in January. So,
And then you have me. I just go and buy fidget spinners.
yeah. Oh, I love, everybody makes fun of stuff that lights up, but I'm telling you, you can get communication with things that light up. If it's got an EMF to it, you can get things to respond. Like that's how we confirmed names that Patricia's place was through the tripwire of it, making the tripwire activate to questions. And we've used that thing many, many times and it never blinked. So, when it works, it's so things that light up have its place. You just have to know how it works and how to make sure it's not false positives.
I was just going to ask him that, Sandra. How about cat balls?
Well, spirit balls can work, especially when they get rolled off. Okay, there's a place in Savannah called, and I'm going to mess it up, but Jerry, we've been trying to figure out how to go, but it costs a fortune. But the Sorrel Weed House, it's a historic house in Savannah. They just put up a new video of a ghost tour, and they have a spirit ball, cat ball, on a chair, and you see it fly off the chair. It was great. They have some really good activity in that place in Savannah. It's called the Sorrel, Sorell.
Jerry put it up.
Yeah, because I can never get that out. But on YouTube, you can look at that. That place is great. I really want to go. Thank you, Rez.
Yep. Thank you. And I'll be in contact, Rez, because I know I have you on the other show in the first of the year.
I know, Sandra, I want to go. We're trying to find somewhere for November for my birthday to investigate, but we've about fished out everything around here. And like I've always said, it's so hard in the South for people to get people to let you investigate. Two places that we absolutely love, they have stopped all paranormal events in their locations. Sad. Yeah, Jerry's been looking. She's been emailing a bunch of places for us to go, but man, with all this history we have here around in the South, and they don't want to talk about ghosts. Don't want nothing to do with it.
Yeah. They're more open here than they were in Vegas. In Vegas, they didn't want anyone to know they were haunted.
So see, that's weird for Vegas. You would think, money, that anything that'd bring in a buck would.
It's because they would lose the Chinese clientele.
Oh, interesting. And so they're not fans of the ghosts.
They won't go into a location that's been dubbed haunted.
Oh, wow. Oh, my gosh. Speaking of which, there's a TV show that I found. Is it on Hulu? I watched so many, or Tubi, but it's called Surreal Estate, as in surreal, and then estate. It's about this real estate agents that fix people's haunted houses so they can sell them.
It's a job to have.
It's not really. It's a TV show, but it was fun. It's like these people had a poltergeist, and they wanted to sell their house, and the poltergeist ended up being the teenage daughter, of course, because it's not a ghost. But it was just it's fun. It's like they go in and try to help the ghost or get rid of it or whatever, so they can get the house back on the market. And
that would be a great job to have.
Yeah, and then in the first episode of the show, he's explaining to this woman, it's like a house that's stigmatized, as in with a murder or a haunting, is like 45% less in value than one that's he went. I was like, this is what we talk about getting permission to investigate liability waivers signed by people. if it's a rental property, because you can get yourself in trouble if you deem a house stigmatized and you devalue it.
Yep. And then they lose money. That's
on Sci-Fi. Okay, it's on a few channels then. Okay. Yeah, it's a fun little show.
Yep, I'll have to see it. The last show I watched was We Have a Ghost. That's how far behind I am. It's on Netflix.
Okay.
It's the one where they discover the ghost in the attic of their new home and
they
videotape it and it goes viral.
Well, Haunted Mansion's really cute.
I haven't seen that. I'm gonna have to watch that.
And we watched Sandra and Jerry stayed over Saturday night after we had our Georgia Paranormal Halloween party Saturday night, and we watched A Haunting in Venice. That was good. All right, well, it's time to get out of here. It's time for my dessert and my bedtime.
Time to go to bed.
My allergies are just whacked out. So, sorry if I'm sounding bad, people. But I had this fog machine going all night Saturday night. I think that did something to me.
Okay,
but
well,
you can go on our Instagram page and see our laser vortex we had Saturday night. It's really cool. Looked like a portal opened up in my garage. Good night, Patricia. We'll talk to you again soon.
Yep, and we will be back in 2 weeks. Just making sure I didn't miss anything, checking the comments real quick before we go, and we are good. So yeah.
Excellent.
Yep. So we will see everyone in 2 weeks, and I'm sure I'll talk to you before then, Philip.
All right. And thanks everybody for showing up tonight. I appreciate it.
Have a good night.